it's on to the next cocktail weenie. And so that's the problem, I think, with flourishes when they're just blown out of proportion. So I say it's a tool in your arsenal. It's a weapon you can use when you need to use it. But you have to be aware that flourishes have a real price that you pay in terms of the conceptual mystery, which can really deepen and expand to become a beautiful thing if you don't shut it down in a lot of different ways. And flourishes can be a little tricky on that. So I would say use them, work with them, but do so in a really attentive, aware way so that you can be honest with yourself about when they're helping and when they might be a short-term benefit but a long-term, detraction. And that's going to be different in all kinds of different situations for each one of you. Any other question?
Yeah, I think too many flourishes makes you a flamboyant ninja. So.
I guess if I was a real ninja,
yeah, right.
I could be as flamboyant as I wanted.
We have lots of questions.
Too many?
No, we have lots of really, really great questions that are all sort of
about the same thing?
Going into the area of the principles of drama and theater and structure and things like that. Aww. I don't think we want to get there yet.
Okay.
I think you and I want to get there. But what we do want to talk about before
I got like a whole butt-ton more moves to do.
Exactly. Before it gets too late.
Yeah.
We're gonna see the pass, damn it. You're gonna give us your thoughts and your tips on the classic pass. It's not on your list. You're gonna show us how to be better at it. Well, you're gonna show us why you don't want to do a riffle with it, and you're gonna do it in 2 or 3 minutes. Let's go.
All right. Well, what's nice about the pass is that I already kind of gave you the secret to it, which was right here in the structure of the very first trick that we were talking about. When I said, look over there, and everyone was looking at the card, that's when you do the pass. That's when you do everything. So in my point of view, basically every move is the same on some level. Every two-handed move is the same. And they're all based on essentially how the shift works. It's all the same thing. So what you have to understand about the pass is that no matter how well you do it, pardon me, let me see if I'll demonstrate it here. Okay. No matter how well you do it, if people are looking at it, they're going to see it. As magicians, we look at a thing and we tell ourselves it's invisible based on this criteria we set up as a person watching a pass. And this is something Dan used to try to explain to me when I was in college, and I didn't want to hear it at all. And so I understand many of you in your house pants right now feel the same way. Hey man, I don't want to hear that. I just want to see the riffle. I want to see the pass. But the truth of the matter is, what you primarily learn from the pass is not to do it when people are looking at you, which is of course the exact opposite of what you get. No, get off of there. I'm trying to show the frame. It's you again.
Of course.
And this is just an example of the timing. If I say to you, take that card, look at it, show it to everybody, what a great time to do the shift. And that's when you're supposed to do the shift. So don't get yourself confused about this idea, truly, that you're supposed to be doing the shift when people are burning your hands. I've gotten a little bit of a reputation because of the half pass and some of the things that we're going to talk about here, of being the kind of person that can do it. And maybe sometimes I can't. But that's the reason why you got to believe me when I tell you I don't. And I don't want to, because it's not what it's like for. I believe in my heart that there are gods in charge of sleight of hand. I got a little statue to the pass, and he's personified, and he's got 8 arms, and he's angry, and he's got a necklace of skulls. He's tough. He's tough and he's hardcore. But the bottom line, I believe, is that the gods that are in charge of whether or not you shake and flash when you're in front of actual people don't like to be messed with. They like to work in the dark, and they like to be peaceful, and they like to be happy. So this whole thing we've been talking about tonight of the intersection of technique and misdirection and structure is that in order to do the pass, you got to be able to have all three working together, because the pass is not going to accept you asking people to look at it while they burn you. It's not built that way, and it's not for that. And the way you'll find out about it is if you start trying to do it that way for people. There's plenty of you at home that are doing that shift more than sufficiently right now, but you're doing it at the wrong time when people are staring at you. And there, all of a sudden, you're flashing, and all of a sudden, you're flashing, and you're
Shaken.
yes, you're flashing and you're shaking. And the reason you're flashing and you're shaking is because it doesn't want to be treated that way. So do yourself a little favor and try learning the pass without any heat on it. And you're going to find it starts to work better. But you got in your mind this idea that there's something wrong with that. But that's not wrong. That's just getting enough understanding about technique to realize what it's actually for and how it really works. Here's an application which is a great way to start practicing the pass a little bit. And here's another thing. People ask me why I don't teach the classic pass and these things. I'm doing a whole chapter on it, a whole hour on it on the in the Pathways to Mastery course. We're going to get into it. And I work with students with it all the time, over and over again, back and forth. But what people got to understand about the classic pass is it isn't, you know, when I teach gravity half pass, that's something I put in print. When I teach the graduate and some other things that are on here, those are things that I put in print. The classic pass that I perform is the two-handed shift directly out of Erdnäs. Directly out of there. And it's all about not pulling with your fingers. It's about using your thumb to actually pivot the cards, like so. And it's about the fact that it's very, very economical. And I'm not pulling with my fingers, because when people pull with their fingers, they're trying to cover this little area up here, and there's all kinds of tension and negativity down here. So what's nice about a nice Erdnäs classic pass is that there isn't any of that. Not that it's technically invisible. Now, here's the exercise. For those of you who are on my mailing list, there's a free 3-part series called How Sleight of Hand Really Works, or 4-part series called How Sleight of Hand Really Works, which talks about a really old great trick called Think Stop, which is one of the first tricks that appears in Royal Road to Card Magic. I know you asked for 3 minutes, but
that was kidding.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you know I'm kidding.
No, well, you know.
The pass could have been this entire experience.
Well, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. And that's the other thing. When we talk about in-transit actions, I work with students on this every week, and I know it takes a few months of supervision and back and forth and learning. So what I really want to do is tell you what to be working on in a really kind of really honest way. Because what ends up happening is, if we don't, you go home and you think, oh, I just can't do it. They said I should be able to learn this in 30 seconds, and I can't do it. I guess I'm not talented. And that's kind of the way we interpret it. And I want to let you know what takes time for what reason, so that that's, you know, a real experience you're having, so you don't psych yourself out. So you're here. This will be a key card that we looked at, and what we did was, I said, this is think stop. Let me just do the trick real quick. Say stop.
Stop.
Take that card, look at it. Show it to everyone, make sure they all know what it is. Awesome. Drop it back in there. Yeah? Awesome. I have to remember the method now, which is kind of a problem. Okay. Go. Give these a little shuffle. We're doing so much stuff that's not in my prepared notes. So here's what's going to happen. Oh, you're over there. I wish you were over here.
I'm really sorry.
Damn it. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you these cards one at a time. And when you see your card, I just want you to think the word stop. What's nice is you can do hour 3 of this whole lecture just on this one trick. Nothing yet? Is that your card?
Yes, it is.
So unfortunately, there's 2 jokers in this deck, and you were planning on doing this trick. And it's just one of those things, man. It's just Chinatown Jack, you know? It's just how it is. But so the idea here is that it's the oldest trick in the book, literally. Literally the oldest trick in the book. But what's happening is I'm looking at the key card, and when you're saying stop, you're taking the card, you're